Hi friends, we'll continue with the MCQs. Question number 38. The osmotic pressure of a urea solution is 500 mm at 10 degrees centigrade. The solution is diluted and its temperature is raised to 25 degrees centigrade. It is now found that osmotic pressure of the solution is reduced to 105.3 mm of Hg. Extent of dilution. So first write down the given information. Osmotic pressure at 10 degrees centigrade was found to be 500 mm. Right. So when the temperature is 10 degrees centigrade, the osmotic pressure was found to be 500 mm. So 10 degrees centigrade means in Kelvin it will be 283 Kelvin. Now we are diluting the solution. Diluting the solution means we are adding water. The solution is diluted and the temperature is raised to 25 degrees. So now the temperature is changed to 25 degrees. So in Kelvin it will be plus 273, that is 298 Kelvin. It is now found that osmotic pressure of the solution is reduced to 105.3 mm. So osmotic pressure is reduced to 105.3 mm. They are asking what is the extent of dilution. That means what is the volume change they are asking. Let us assume initially let the volume be V. So we need to calculate the final volume. So in this way we can calculate the extent of dilution. Now it is osmotic pressure. So we know the formula to calculate osmotic pressure. Pi is equal to MRT, molarity. So molarity is number of moles per unit volume. So pi is equal to N by V into RT. So initial osmotic pressure is pi 1. Volume initially is V1. R is a constant. Temperature is also changed. Let the initial temperature be T1. So they are telling that there is no change in the number of moles. Similarly for the second solution, osmotic pressure is pi 2, which is equal to N by V2 into R T2. So taking the ratio of these two, let this be equation 1, this be equation 2. So taking the ratio of these two, 1 by 2. So n gets cancelled out, r also gets cancelled out. So you will get pi 1 by pi 2 is equal to n and r gets cancelled out. You will get T1 by V1 into V2 by T2. Now pi 1 is given as 500, pi 2 is 105.3, which is equal to, so T1 was 283 by V1 V into V2 by T2 is 298 Kelvin. So if we simplify this, we will get the relation between V2 and V. So this will be V2 is equal to 5. So that means we are diluting the solution 5 times. The volume is increased by 5 times. Coming to the next question. Question number 39. If the amount of a non-electrolyte dissolved is doubled, but that of the solvent is quadrupled. So we are doubling the mass of solute and we are increasing the mass of solvent 4 times. The elevation in boiling point of the solution will be. So what will be the delta TB value they are asking. So we know that delta TB is equal to Kb into M. So the M is molarity. So delta TB is equal to Kb into mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. That means elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to the mass of solute and inversely proportional to the mass of solvent. So delta TB is directly proportional to the mass of solute and inversely proportional to the mass of solvent. Directly proportional to WB by WA. So let the initial mass be WB of the solute and initial mass of the solvent be WA. So in this case, elevation boiling point, let it be delta TB1. Now they are telling that mass of the solute is doubled, mass of the solvent is increased by 4 times. So that means final mass of the solute will be 2 times that of initial mass, and mass of the solvent will be 4 times that of the initial mass. So elevation boiling point, let it be delta TB2. So if we take the ratio of these two, delta TB1 by delta TB2 is equal to, so it is directly proportional to WB. So our WB initially was WB by WA, right, into, so delta TB2. So this will be 4 times by 2WB. So WB gets cancelled out, WA gets cancelled out, 2 1 2 2s. So what happens? Delta TB2 value will be equal to delta TB1 by 2. So what is happening to the elevation in boiling point? It is getting half. So the answer will be option B. Coming to the next question, question number 40. An aqueous solution of glucose boils at 100.01 degrees centigrade. The molar elevation constant of water is 0.5 Kelvin kilogram per mole. Number of glucose molecules in the solution containing 100 grams of water. So what is the given information here? Boiling point of the glucose solution is given. That means TB value is given. So the value of TB is 100.01 degrees centigrade. The molar elevation constant of water, Kb. So the value of Kb is 0.5 Kelvin kilogram per mole. They are asking the number of glucose molecules containing 100 grams of water. So number of glucose molecules So how many glucose molecules will be present in 100 grams of water is the question. So it is aqueous solution. So we know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. So by using the concept of elevation in boiling point, delta TB is equal to Kb into M. So delta TB is TB minus TB naught, which is equal to Kb into M. So what is the boiling point of solution? 100.01 degrees centigrade minus TB naught value is 100, which is equal to Kb is 0.5 into M. So 100 minus 100.01 minus 100 will be 0.01 by 0.5 is equal to molality. So from this, the value of M will be 0.02. So this is molality. So what does molality mean? Molality is the number of moles of solute present in 1 kg of solvent. So that means there are 0.02 moles of glucose in 1000 grams of water. So 0.02 molar solution means there are 0.02 moles present in 1000 grams of water. But they are asking us to calculate glucose molecules in 100 grams of water. So if in 1000 grams there are 0.02 moles, then 100 grams of water contain how many moles? So what will be the number of moles here? 0.00 moles, 002 moles. This is the number of moles of glucose present in 100 grams of water. But they are asking number of glucose molecule. So we know that 1 mole contains Avogadro's number of molecules, then this many moles contain into Avogadro's number. So number of glucose molecules will be equal to 0.002 into 6 into 10 power 23. So which is equal to, so this is 2 into 10 power minus 3 into 6 into 10 power 23. So 12 into 10 power 20. That is 1.2 into 10 power 21. So 1.2 into 10 power 21. So option D will be the correct answer. Coming to the next question, question number 41. Two elements A and B form compounds having formula AB2 and AB4. When dissolved in 20 gram benzene 1 gram of AB2 lowers the freezing point by 2.3 degrees, whereas 1 gram of AB4 lowers it by 1.3 degrees. K for benzene is 5.1 Kelvin mole per kg, Kelvin kg per mole, atomic masses of A and B are. So we are having two different compounds where the addition of the solute is lowering the freezing point by 2.3 degrees in case of AB2 and 1.3 degrees in case of AB4. Kf for benzene solvent is the same. So they are asking atomic masses of A and B. For example, if I take for AB2 compound, so lowering in freezing point, delta Tf is equal to Kf into mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. So what is the lowering in freezing point in the case of AB2? It is 2.3 degrees is equal to. So K for benzene is given as 5.1 into. So mass of the solute is 1 gram we are adding. By molar mass we don't know. They are asking to calculate atomic masses. So we know that molar mass is the sum of atomic masses of all the elements. So we are having A as well as 2 B atoms here. So the sum of A plus 2B will give you the molar mass of B. Give it into 1000 by mass of the solvent. So the mass of the solvent is 20 grams of benzene. Mass of the solvent is 20. So on simplifying this, you will get the value of A plus 2B as 110.87. Let this be equation number 1. Now let us take the another compound AB4. The other compound is AB4. So in the same way, delta Tf is equal to Kf into mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. So in this case, the freezing point is lowering by 1.3 degrees. So Kf for benzene is 5.1 into. So the mass of the solute added is 1 gram here. By molar mass will be A plus 4B here. 1 atom of A and 4 atoms of B into 1000 by. So what is the mass of solvent added here? 20 grams. 20 grams. Right? So on simplifying this, you will get the value of A plus 4B as 196.15. Let this be equation number 2. So if I do 2 minus 1, I can get the values of A and B. That is, A plus 4B is equal to 196.15. A plus 2B is equal to 110.87. So if I subtract these two, so A gets cancelled out. This will be 2B, which is equal to 85.28. So the value of B will be 42.64. So the atomic mass of B is 42.64. So substituting the value of B either in equation 2 or in equation 1, we will get the atomic mass of A also. Right? So substituting this in equation 2. So A plus 2 into 42.64 is equal to 110.87. So it will be A plus 85.28 is equal to 110.87. So the value of A will be 110.87 minus 85.28. So what will be this value? So it will be 35.59. 25.5. So the atomic mass of A is 25.59. Atomic mass of B is 42.64. So the answer will be option A. 25.59 means approximately 25.6. So 25.6 and 42.6 will be the answer. So it is option A. Coming to the next question, question number 42. The freezing point of a 0.01 molar aqueous solution of glucose at 1 atmosphere is minus 0.18 degrees centigrade. To it, an addition of equal volumes of 0.002 molar glucose solution will produce a solution with freezing point nearly. So here we are having two solutions, right? So the two solutions are being mixed. For the first solution, they have given the freezing point. After mixing, they are asking the freezing point of the final solution. So initially for the first solution, the concentration is given as 0.01 molar. And the volume, they are telling both the solutions are having equal volumes. Let it be V liters, or we can take it as 1 liter. Volume of this is 1 liter. Then for the second solution, the concentration is 0.002 molar and the volume, they are telling it is the same. V2 value will be 1 liter. So we are mixing these two solutions. So when we mix these two solutions, we need to calculate the final concentration of the resultant solution. So how will we calculate? M3 is equal to M1V1 plus M2V2 by V1 plus V2, that is total volume. So M1 is 0.01 into 1 plus M2 is 0.002 into 1 by total volume is 2. So this value will be 0.01 plus 0.002 by 2. So what will be this value? 0.012 by 2, that is 0.006. So this is the resulting concentration of the solution when these two are mixed. Now they are asking to calculate the freezing point of this solution. And for the first solution, they have given, so what was the freezing point of the solution? Freezing point of the solution is given as minus 0.18 degrees. That means depression in freezing, lowering in freezing point. Depression in freezing point will be 0.18 degrees centigrade. Lowering in freezing point is given as 0.18 degrees centigrade. Right? So now, what is the relation between delta TF and concentration? So delta TF and concentration are directly proportional. So delta TF 1 by delta TF2 is equal to initial concentration by final concentration. So what was the initial elevation, depression freezing point? 0.18. So we need to calculate first depression and freezing point is equal to, so initial concentration by final concentration. Initial concentration is 0.01 by final concentration of the solution is 0.006. So what will be this value? So depression in freezing point of this solution will be 0.108. If we simplify this, we will get as 0.108. But they are asking freezing point of the solution. So what will be the value of freezing point of the solution? So freezing point of the solution will be minus 0.108 because it is aqueous solution. So water will be having a freezing point of 0 degrees centigrade. So 0 minus 0.108 will be minus 0.108. So once again, initial concentration of the solution is 0.01 and the volume is 1 liter. And the other solution concentration is 0.002 molar, volume is 1 liter, and for this solution they are telling the freezing point depression is 0.18 degrees centigrade. Actually freezing point of solution is given, so depression and freezing point will be plus 0.18 degrees centigrade. We are mixing these two. When we mix these two, we need to calculate the resulting concentration. So what is the resulting concentration? 0.006 molar. And depression and freezing point is directly proportional to concentration. So it is directly proportional to initial concentration. So delta TF1 by delta TF2 is equal to Mi by Mf. So substituting the values and simplifying, you will get depression and freezing point is 0.108, where the freezing point of solution will be minus 0.108. So it will be option B. Coming to the next question, question number 43. The amount of ice that will separate on cooling a solution containing 50 grams of ethylene glycol in 200 grams of water at minus 9.3 degrees centigrade will be given Kf. So they are asking what will be the amount of ice that will be separated on cooling a mixture of ethylene glycol in water. So delta Tf is equal to Kf into molality. Delta Tf is Tf naught minus Tf, which is equal to Kf into mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. First let us calculate how much amount of water is present when the delta T for the given delta Tf value. That means when freezing is taking place, let us calculate how much amount of water is finally left. So after freezing, whatever is the water left out here, right? So this minus, initially we are telling that they have given 200 grams of water. So out of the 200 grams of water, how much amount of ice will be separated, we can calculate. Right? So whatever the mass of water we get here and whatever the initial mass we are having, so the difference between the two will give you amount of ice separated. So Tf naught is 0 minus, the telling freezing point of the solution is minus 9.3 is equal to Kf value is 1.86 into mass of the solute is 50. What is the molar mass of ethylene glycol? So ethylene glycol formula is CH2H, CH2H is ethylene glycol. So what will be the mass of ethylene glycol? 2 carbon atoms, 24, 4 plus 2, 6 hydrogens. So mass will be 6, 2 oxygens, 32. So this will be 62. So 62 is the molar mass of ethylene glycol. 62 into 1000 by, let us calculate how much amount of water is left out. So on simplification of this, you will get the mass of water will be 161.29 grams. Means after freezing, this is the amount of water left out. Initially how much amount of water we have taken? 200 grams. So amount of ice separated. Amount of ice separated will be 200 minus 161.29, so it will be 38.71 grams. So 200 grams of water initially we have taken. After freezing, this much amount of water is left. So what is happening to the remaining water? Remaining water will be converted to ice because freezing is taking place. So the answer will be option A. Now to the next question. Question number 44. In 100 gram naphthalene, 2.423 grams of sulfur was dissolved. Melting point of naphthalene is 80.1 degrees centigrade. Delta Tf is 0.661 degrees centigrade. LF, latent heat of fusion, is 35.7 calorie per gram of naphthalene. What will be the molecular formula of sulfur added? So we need to calculate the molecular formula of sulfur. What is the information given? So mass of sulfur is 2.423 grams. First we need to calculate molecular mass, from which we can calculate molecular formula. Amount of solvent is 100 grams. Melting point of naphthalene, let it be T naught, melting point of naphthalene, is 80.1 degrees centigrade, so which in Kelvin will be 353.1 Kelvin plus 273. Next, delta Tf is 0.661 degrees centigrade. Latent heat of fusion is 35.7 calorie per gram. So we need to calculate molecular formula. First we will calculate molecular mass. So this is depression freezing point. We know that delta Tf is equal to Kf into M. So delta Tf value is given as 0.661, which is equal to Kf. So Kf value is not given here, but we can calculate the value of Kf by using melting point and latent heat of fusion. So how will you calculate the value of Kf by using this? We are having a formula for that. Kf is R into T naught square by 1000 into latent heat of fusion. So this is the value of Kf. The value of Kf can be calculated by using this formula into molality. So molality is mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. So we know all these values. So substituting, we can calculate the molar mass of sulfur here. So substitute the values. 0.661 is equal to the value of R. So here it is given in calories. Latent heat of fusion is given in calories. So we will be taking the value of R as 2, 1.987. We can take it as 2. So 2 into, so what is T naught? T naught is melting point. That is 353.1 Kelvin square by 1000 into latent heat of fusion is given as 35.7 into mass of solute 2.423 by molar mass of solute we will be calculating into 1000 by mass of solvent is 100. So if you simplify this, we will get the molar mass of the solute as 256 gram per mole. This will be the molar mass of the solute, that is sulfur. But what they are asking molecular formula. Molecular formula means how many sulfur atoms are present in it, because sulfur is an element. So we need to calculate how many sulfur atoms are present in that molecular formula. Suppose if Sx is a molecular formula, let us assume. If Sx is the molecular formula, that means X atoms of sulfur are present here. So each atom of sulfur has a mass of 32. So X into 32 value must be equal to 256. As there are X atoms of sulfur, each atom of sulfur has a mass of 32. So the total molecular mass will be 256. So from this the value of X will be 256 by 32, which is 8. So what will be the molecular formula of sulfur? Molecular formula of sulfur is S8. That means there are 8 atoms of sulfur in the formula. Right? So what will be the answer? So the answer will be option D. Coming to the next question. Question number 45. Equal volumes of ethylene glycol, molar mass is 62, and water, molar mass is 18, are mixed. So we are mixing ethylene glycol and water, equal volumes. The depression and freezing point of water is, so we need to calculate delta TF. So what is the information given? We will write it up. So volumes of ethylene glycol and water are the same, right? And molar mass of ethylene glycol is the solute, molar mass is 62, and water molar mass we know, so molar mass of solvent is given as 18. Depression and freezing point of water we need to calculate, delta TF we need to calculate. Kf of water is given as 1.86 Kelvin kilogram per mole. Specific gravity of ethylene glycol, density of ethylene glycol is given, density of B is 1.11 gram per ml. From this we need to calculate density. We need to calculate delta TF. So delta TF is equal to Kf into M. So which is Kf into molality is mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. So Kf value is given as 1.86 into mass of solute. So mass of solute is not mentioned here. Instead, density of the solute is given and volume is also given. They are telling both the volumes must be the same. Let us take volume of ethylene glycol, solute B, and volume of A is 1 liter. Let us take the volume as 1 liter, right? Or 1 ml, because density is given in 1 gram per 1 ml. So we will take it as 1 ml. Now what happens? As we know the volume, as we know the density, we can calculate the mass. So what will be the mass? So density is mass by volume. Mass will be equal to volume into density. So 1.11 into 1 will be 1.11. By molar mass of the solute is 62 into 1000 by mass of solvent. In the same way, solvent mass is not given, instead volume is given. We know density of water is 1, so the mass of solvent will be 1. So if you simplify this, you will get the value of delta TF. So the value of delta TF on calculation, you will get as 33.3. So simple. So only mass of solute and mass of solvent we don't know. But to calculate the mass of solute, density is given, volume is also given. We know that mass is density into volume. So density is 1.11 into volume is 1. So it will be 1.11. In the same way, water is the solvent here. For water, the density is 1. So density into volume. So it will be 1. So on simplifying, we will get the value as 33.3. So it will be option D. Coming to the next question. Question number 46. A 5% solution by mass of cane sugar in water has freezing point of 271 Kelvin and freezing point of pure water is 273.15 Kelvin. The freezing point of 5% solution by mass of glucose in water is. So there are two solutions. One is cane sugar, the other one is glucose solution. So what is information given regarding cane sugar and glucose? We will consider. So what is given? So directly it is based on depression freezing point. I will write in terms of formula. So delta TF is equal to KF into mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. And delta TF is TF naught minus TF. In the same way for glucose also, TF naught minus TF is equal to KF into mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. So what is the TF naught? TF naught for water is given as 273.15 minus. So freezing point of cane sugar is given, cane sugar in water, it is 271 is equal to, so Kf value will be a constant, Kf into, so mass of the solute is 5% by mass. What do you mean by 5% by mass? 5 grams of the solute is dissolved in 95 grams of water to make 100 gram solution. So 5% means mass of solute will be 5 by molar mass of cane sugar is 342. So the formula of cane sugar is C12H22O11. It is sucrose. So molar mass will be 342 into 1000 by mass of water will be 95 grams because it is percentage by mass. 5 grams in 95 grams of water. So this will be the, on substituting we will get this one. In the same way for glucose also we will substitute. So TF naught, freezing point of water is 273.15. We need to calculate the freezing point of solution. So Kf, let it be as Kf1. What will be the mass of solute? Concentration is given as 5% solution by mass. So 5 grams, glucose molar mass is 180 into 1000 by, so it is 5% by mass. So 5 grams of solute will be present in 95 grams of water. So divide these two. Let this be equation 1 and let this be equation 2. So divide 1 by 2, we will get the value of TF. Right? So on division what happens? This 1000 by 95, 1000 by 95 gets cancelled out. KF gets cancelled out. 5 also gets cancelled out. So you will get as 273.15 minus 271. So what will be this value? 2.15 by 273.15 minus TF is equal to, so this value will be 1 by 342 by 1 by 180, that is 180 by 1. So this if you simplify you will get the value of TF. So the value of TF you will get will be 269 Kelvin. So on simplification you will get the value as 269 Kelvin. So the answer will be option C. Coming to the next question, question number 47. How many grams of sucrose should be dissolved in 100 grams of water in order to produce a solution with a 105 degrees centigrade difference between freezing point and the boiling temperatures? Kf and Kb values are given. So we need to calculate the mass of sucrose. WB we need to calculate. And what is given? Molar mass of sucrose is given as 342. Mass of the solvent is given as 100 grams. And what is the condition here? There must be 105 degrees difference between the freezing and boiling temperatures. That means TB minus TF must be equal to 105 degrees. It must always be TB minus TF, but not TF minus TB, because boiling point will always be more than that of freezing point. So if you take TF minus TB, you will get a negative value, right? So this is the given condition. The difference between the boiling point and freezing point must be 105 degrees centigrade. In order to get this value, how much amount of solute we need to add? And they have given the Kf value as 1.86 and Kb value as 0.51 degrees. So these are the Kf and Kb values given. So first let us take elevation boiling point. Delta Tb is equal to Kb into M. So delta Tb is Tb minus Tb naught, which is equal to Kb into M. So Tb minus boiling point of pure water is 100 degrees centigrade, which is equal to Kb value is given, it is 0.51. 0.51 into M. So what will be the value of Tb? So the value of Tb will be 0.51 M plus 100. This is the value of Tb. Next we need to get the value of Tf. So in order to get the value of Tf, I will be using depression in freezing point. So we know that delta Tf is equal to Kf into N. Delta Tf is Tf naught minus Tf, which is equal to Kf into N. So Tf naught for water, it is 0 minus Tf. So Kf is given as 1.86 into M. So what will be the value of Tf? It will be minus 1.86 M. So Tb minus Tf value is given as 105 degrees centigrade. So Tb minus Tf is 105. So what is the value of Tb? 0.51 M plus 100 minus of minus, it becomes plus 1.86 is equal to 105 degrees centigrade. So 0.51 M is equal to 0.5 M is equal to 105. This is 1.86 here. So 0.51 plus 1.86. So what will be the value? 7. 8 plus 5 is 13. So 2.37 M is equal to, so 105 minus 100, that is 5. So the value of M will be 5 by 2.37. So what is the value of 5 by 2.37 is? 5 by 2.37 will be 2.11. So this is the molarity. So once we know the molarity, we can calculate the mass. So by applying the formula of molarity, molarity is equal to mass of solute. We need to calculate the mass of solute. By molar mass of the solute is given as 342 into 1000 by mass of the solvent is given as 100. So this if you simplify, you will get the mass of solute. So what is the mass of solute? 72 grams. On simplification, you will get the value as 72 grams. Right? So the answer will be option B. Coming to the next question, question number 48. A motor vehicle radiator was filled with 8 liters of water in which 2 liters of methyl alcohol was added. What is the lowest temperature at which the vehicle can be parked without a danger of freezing of water? So Kf of water is given and density of methanol is given. So what is the lowest temperature at which the vehicle can be parked without the danger of freezing of water? So first we will calculate what is the depression in freezing point. Right? So we know that depression in freezing point delta Tf is equal to Kf into M. So delta Tf is equal to Kf of water is given 1.86 into molarity is mass of solute by molar mass of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent. So 1.86 into mass of solute. So solute is methyl alcohol here. Mass is not given, but volume is given. So what is the volume given? 2 liters. So 2 liters means 2000 ml, and the density is also given. So when you know volume and when you know density, you can calculate the mass. So mass is volume into density. So the volume is given as 2 liters, which is 2000 ml, into density is given as 0.8. So this will be the mass of solute. And the molar mass of methanol. So what will be the molar mass of methanol? Methanol formula is CH3OH, carbon 12, 4 hydrogens plus oxygen 16. So it will be 32. So molar mass of methanol is 32 into 1000 by mass of water. So for water also mass is not given, instead volume is given. Volume is given as 8 liters. We know that for water density is 1. So 8 liters means 8000 ml. So the mass will be 8000 grams. So this if we simplify, we will get the value of delta TF as 11.625 degrees centigrade. This is the depression freezing point. Let us calculate what will be the freezing point of the solution. So we know that delta TF naught is TF naught minus TF, which is 11.625. So TF naught for water is the solvent here, it is 0. So the value of TF will be minus 11.625 degrees centigrade. This is the freezing point of solution. That means until and unless the temperature is less than this value, we can happily park the vehicle. What happens once the freezing point comes below this one? So once the freezing point comes below this, then it will start freezing. So in that case we cannot park the car. So car can be parked until the temperature is more than this, minus 11.625. Once the temperature comes below this value, then freezing will be starting this. So the answer will be option B. Coming to the next question, question number 49. The freezing point of 0.1 molar solution of glucose is minus 1.86 degrees centigrade. If an equal volume of 0.3 molar glucose solution is added, what will be the freezing point of the mixture? Again, we are having two solutions here, we are mixing both. So after mixing, what will be the freezing point of the solution they are asking, right? So this problem is similar to that of question number 42 we solved. Same question it is, right? So we are having two solutions. For the first solution, concentration is 0.1 molar and freezing point is minus 1.86. That means delta TF value will be 1.86 degrees. Freezing point of solution is 1.86. Then depression freezing point will be 1.86 because the solvent is water here. TF naught will be 0. Then other solution is having a concentration of 0.3 molar. So the adjoining volumes are the same, right? So for the first solution and the second solution, the volume is same. Let us take it as 1 liter. Now I am mixing these two. So I will calculate the concentration on mixing of two solutions. So M3 is equal to M1V1 plus M2V2 by V1 plus V2. So M1 value is 0.1 into volume is 1 liter plus M2 value is 0.3, volume is 1 liter by total volume V1 plus V2, which will be 2. So that is 0.1 plus 0.3 by 2, 0.4 by 2, which is 0. So final concentration of solution is 0.2. And we know that delta TF is directly proportional to concentration. Delta TF1 by delta TF2 is equal to initial concentration by final concentration. So what is the delta TF1? Delta TF1 is 1.86. Delta TF2 will calculate first. Initial concentration is 0.1 and the final concentration is 0.2. So this will be 1 by 2. So from this delta TF of the second solution will be 1.86 into 2, which is 3.72 degrees centigrade. This is the depression and freezing point. But they are asking to calculate a freezing point of solution. So what will be freezing point of solution? Minus 3.72 degrees centigrade. Because delta TF is TF naught minus TF. TF naught will be 0. So TF will be minus 3.72 degrees centigrade. So the answer will be option C. Coming to the next question, question number 50. The values of observed and calculated molecular weights of silver nitrate are 92.64 and 170 respectively. The degree of dissociation of silver nitrate will be. So observed molecular weight. Is 92.64. Calculated molecular weight is 170. They are asking to calculate the degree of dissociation, that is alpha of silver nitrate. So how much amount of AgNO3 will be dissociated is the question. So we know that for dissociation, I is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha. For dissociation, I is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha. I is the Van House factor, n is the number of ions formed assuming 100% dissociation, and alpha is the degree of dissociation. So what is the value of I? So once you know the calculated molecular weight and observed molecular weight, you can calculate the value of I, that is calculated molecular weight by observed molecular weight. So calculated molecular weight is 170, observed molecular weight is 92.64. Will be equal to 1 plus. So n is the number of ions formed assuming 100% dissociation. So if AgNO3 undergoes 100% dissociation, we'll get 1 mole of Ag plus and 1 mole of NO3 minus. So totally 2 moles. 2 minus 1 into alpha we need to calculate. So 170 by 92.64 value will be 1.835. So 1.835 is equal to 1 plus alpha. Alpha value will be 1.835 minus 1, which is 0.835. So the value of alpha is 0.835. So in terms of percentage they are asking. So percentage of alpha will be 83.5%. So the answer will be option B. Coming to the next question. Question number 51. The degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte AxBy is related to Van House factor by the expression. So we need to get the relation between I and alpha for AxBy. So AxBy is an electrolyte which on dissociation will get X moles of A plus Y plus Y moles of B minus X. Let us assume when initially time t is equal to 0, 1 mole of AxBy is present. Then these two will be 0 and 0 initially. So this is a weak electrolyte, there will be equilibrium achieved. So once the equilibrium is attained, the amount of this left out will be 1 minus X mole. The amount of this left out will be 1 minus X mole, where alpha is amount of substance that has dissociated to products. How much amount of this will be formed? 1 mole is giving X mole, alpha mole is dissociated. How much amount of this will be formed? X into alpha. In the same way, 1 mole is giving Y mole, alpha mole is dissociated. How much amount of this will be formed? Y into alpha. So what will be the value of I? So I is equal to 1 minus alpha plus X alpha plus Y alpha. So which is equal to 1 plus alpha. If I take common here, you will get X plus Y minus 1. So this you rearrange in terms of alpha. So I minus 1 is equal to alpha into X plus Y minus 1. Alpha value will be I minus 1 by X plus Y minus 1. So the answer will be option A. Coming to the next question, question number 52. Acetic acid exists in benzene solution in the dimeric form. In an actual experiment, the Van House factor was found to be 0.52. What will be the degree of dissociation of acetic acid? So I value is given as 0.52. You need to calculate the value of alpha. And we know that acetic acid in benzene is undergoing dimerization. That means it is association. So for association, what is the relation between I and alpha? I is equal to 1 plus 1 by n minus 1 into alpha. For dissociation, 1 plus n minus 1. For association, 1 plus 1 by n minus 1 into alpha. So the value of I is given as 0.52, which is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2, because it is association. So the n value, two molecules will associate, dimerization. 1 by 2 minus 1 into alpha. So this value will be 0.52 minus 1 is equal to minus alpha by 2. So that is minus 0.48 is equal to minus alpha by 2. Alpha value will be 0.96. So the degree of dissociation is 0.96. That means 96% of benzene is undergoing association. Right? So we know that 96% of acetic acid is undergoing association. We know that acetic acid has the ability to form hydrogen bonding. So association will be maximum. That's why we will get it around 96%. Right? Coming to the next question. Question number 53. The question is 0.004 molar solution of sodium sulfate is isotonic with 0.01 molar solution of glucose at the same temperature. The degree of dissociation of sodium sulfate is. So whenever we tell the solutions are isotonic, their osmotic pressures will be the same. So here one is sodium sulfate solution, other one is glucose solution. That means osmotic pressure of sodium sulfate is equal to osmotic pressure of glucose. So we know how to calculate osmotic pressure, and they are asking alpha value of sodium sulfate. Right? So that means this is undergoing dissociation. So the formula of osmotic pressure will be I into MRT. Must be equal to, this does not undergo any dissociation. So pi value is equal to MRT. First I will calculate what is the value of I, from which I can calculate the value of alpha. Right? So I into, what is the molarity of sodium sulfate? 0.004 into RT must be equal to molarity of glucose is 0.01 into RT. So they are telling temperature is the same, R value is a constant, so both gets cancelled. So the value of I will be 0.01 by 0.004. So this value will be 2.5. So the value of I is 2.5. But they are asking alpha. So for dissociation, we know the relation between I and alpha. That is, I is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha. So the value of I is 2.5, which is 1 plus, what is the value of n here? From sodium, we will get 2 sodium ions and 1 sulfate ion. So totally 3 ions. So 3 minus 1 into alpha. So 2.5 minus 1 is 1.5, which is equal to 2 alpha. So alpha value is 1.5 by 2, which is 0.75. So alpha is 0.75. That means 75% of sodium sulfate will be dissociated. So the correct answer will be option C. So they are asking percentage. So percentage of alpha will be 75%. Coming to the next question. Question number 54. Solution A contains 7 gram per liter of magnesium chloride and solution B contains 7 gram per liter of NaCl. At room temperature, the osmotic pressure of. So whether they are asking osmotic pressure of solution A will be greater or osmotic pressure of solution B will be greater. First coming to solution A. So solution A consists of 7 grams per liter of magnesium chloride. So I need to calculate the osmotic pressure of this. So osmotic pressure pi is equal to I into MRT, because this is a salt which undergoes ionization. I need to consider Van der Waals factor. So as alpha value is not mentioned, we always take it as 100% ionized. So which will be equal to, I value for this will be 3, because magnesium chloride on dissociation will get 3 ions total, 1 magnesium and 2 chloride ions. So I value is 3 into molarity. So molarity is mass by molar mass into 1 by V in liters. So mass is given as 7. So molar mass of magnesium chloride, magnesium 24 plus 71. So 71 plus 24 is 95 into RT. So this if you simplify, you will get it as 0.22 RT. This is the osmotic pressure of 7 grams per liter of magnesium chloride. Next, coming to solution D. Solution D consists of 7 gram per liter of NaCl. 7 gram per liter of NaCl. So NaCl is also a salt which undergoes 100% ionization, from which we will be getting 2 ions. So considering Van der Waals factor, pi is equal to I into MRT. So I value will be 2 here. Molarity is, mass is 7 by molar mass of NaCl. So sodium 23 plus chlorine 35.5. So that means 58.5 into RT. So this if you simplify, you will get as 0.24 RT. So whose osmotic pressure is greater? So osmotic pressure of B is greater than osmotic pressure of A. So the answer must be option C. So solution B will be having more osmotic pressure than solution A. Coming to the next question, question number 55. A decimolar solution of potassium ferrocyanide is 50% dissociated at 300 Kelvin. The osmotic pressure of the solution is, so concentration is given as decimolar, that is 0.1 molar. So alpha value is 50% dissociated. So percentage of alpha is 50%, that means the value of alpha will be half. So what is the osmotic pressure of the solution they are asking? So we need to calculate the osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure is equal to I into MRT. So we know molarity, they are telling to take the value of R as 8.314. Temperature is also mentioned, and the given temperature is 300 Kelvin. So we need to calculate the value of I first. So once I calculate the value of I, so I will substitute here. So how will you calculate the value of I? So I is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha, because they are telling potassium ferrocyanide undergoes dissociation. So what is the formula of potassium ferrocyanide? K4 FeCN taken 6 times. So this on dissociation will get 4 moles of potassium ions and 1 mole of ferrocyanide ion minus. We'll get 4 moles of potassium ions and 1 mole of ferrocyanide ion. So total n value will be 5 for this. So what will be the value of I? 1 plus 5 minus 1 into alpha value is half. So the value of I will be 1 plus 4 by 2. So the value of Van der Waals factor is 3. So pi is equal to 3 into molarity is given as 0.1. R value they are telling to take it as 8.314 into temperature is 300. So this if you simplify, you will get the osmotic pressure of solution. So on simplification you will get it as 7.48 atm. So the value of pi you will get will be 7.48 atm, which is option A. Coming to the next question, question number 56. A 0.001 molar solution of PtNH3 taken 4 times Cl4 in water had a freezing point depression of 0.0054 degrees centigrade. If Kf for water is 1.80, the correct formulation of the above molecule. So they have given a molecule. The formula of the molecule is PtNH3 taken 4 times Cl4. The concentration of this, the molarity is given as 0.001 molar. The depression freezing point of the solution, delta Tf is 0.0054 degrees centigrade. So Kf for water is given as 1.80. They are asking what is the correct formulation of the molecule. So in order to identify the correct formula, so I need to calculate the value of I. So delta Tf is equal to I into Kf into M. So the delta Tf value is 0.0054, which is equal to I into Kf is 1.8 into molarity is 0.001. So if you simplify this, you will get the value of I is 3. That means in the molecule, when it is dissolved in solution, it forms 3 ions. So from the options, we need to check which option gives 3 ions. So if you see option B, so the option B is given as PtNH3 taken 4 times Cl2 and Cl2. So this on dissociation will get PtNH3 taken 4 times Cl2 2 plus 2Cl minus ions. There are 2 chlorines outside which will be dissociated as 2Cl minus, and this is the complex ion form. So totally how many ions we are getting? 3 ions. So the correct answer will be option B. Coming to the next question. Question number 57. A 0.002 molar aqueous solution of an ionic compound freezes at minus 0.00732 degrees centigrade. Number of moles of ion which 1 mole of ionic compound produces on being dissolved in water will be. So given information is molality is given 0.002 molar. Freezing point of solution is given, Tf is minus 0.00732 degrees centigrade. So they are asking how many ions will be produced. I value they are asking. Kf value is given as 1.86 degrees centigrade per mole. Right? So I need to calculate the value of I by using this. So delta Tf is equal to I into Kf into M. Freezing point of solution is minus 0.00732. That means depression in freezing point will be plus 0.00732. Will be equal to I into Kf value is 1.86, molality is 0.002. So this if you solve, you will get the value of I. So it should be the answer, right? So the value of I will be 2. That means the ionic compound on dissociation will get how many ions? 2 ions will be formed. Coming to the next question, question number 58. A 0.1 molar aqueous solution of a weak acid is 30% ionized. If Kf for water is 1.86 degrees centigrade per mole, the freezing point of the solution will be. So concentration is given as 0.1 molar. Alpha value is 30% ionized. That means alpha value is 0.3. Kf for water is given as 1.86 degrees centigrade per mole. Freezing point of the solution we need to calculate. And they have said it is a weak acid, but they didn't mention what is the acid. In the question, please make it as the weak acid is Ha. Ha is the weak acid. So Ha is the weak acid from which we will get 2 ions. As alpha value is given, I need to calculate the value of I first. So delta Tf is equal to I into Kf into M. First I will calculate the value of I. So for dissociation, I is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha. So 1 plus, how many ions you will get from Ha? 2 ions you will get. So it is 2 minus 1 into alpha value is 0.3. So this will be 1 plus 0.3, which is 1.3. So the value of I is 1.3. Substituting the value here, we'll get 1.3 into 1.86 into 0.1. So this, if you simplify, you will get the value as 0.24 degrees centigrade. This is delta TF. They are asking TF. So what will be the value of TF? Minus 0.24 degrees centigrade. As the solvent is water, TF naught value will be 0. So when TF naught is 0, TF will be minus 0.24 degrees centigrade. So the answer will be option D. Coming to the next question, question number 59. pH of 0.1 molar monobasic acid is measured to be 2. Its osmotic pressure at a given temperature T Kelvin is. So they have given the pH value is 2. Concentration is given as 0.1 molar. They are asking to calculate pi. So we know that pi, as it is a monobasic acid means it can produce only one H plus ions. Its basicity is 1. Right? So pi is equal to I into MRT. First I need to calculate the value of I. So for I is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha, because this undergoes dissociation. So I is equal to 1 plus n value is 2, because from HA you will get 1 H plus ion and 1 A minus ion. 2 minus 1 into alpha I need to calculate. I don't know the value of alpha. So I can calculate the value of alpha by using the concept of pH. So they have given pH is 2. So if pH is 2, what will be the concentration of H plus ion? 10 power minus 2. And we know that concentration of H plus ion is equal to C into alpha. So 10 power minus 2 is equal to concentration is 10 power minus 1 into alpha. Alpha value is 10 power minus 1. So in order to calculate the value of alpha, the pH is given. Right? So the alpha value is 10 power minus 1, 0.1. So this will be 1 plus 0.1. So I value is 1.1. So substituting the values in this osmotic pressure. So pi is equal to I value is 1.1. Concentration is 0.1 into RT. So 1.1 into 0.1 is 0.11 RT. So the osmotic pressure is 0.11 RT. So it will be option B, 0.11 RT. Coming to the next question, that is the last question of this chapter, question number 60. 75.2 grams of phenol is dissolved in 1 kg of solvent of KF14. If the depression in freezing point is 7 Kelvin, then find the percentage of phenol that dimerizes. So mass of phenol is given as 75.2 grams. Mass of solvent is given as 1 kg. KF value is given as 14. Depression in freezing point, delta TF is given as 7 Kelvin. We need to calculate alpha, percentage alpha. How much phenol will be undergoing dimerization. So this is the given information. So as delta TF is given, delta TF is equal to I into KF into M. First I will calculate the value of I, then I will calculate the value of alpha. Delta TF is 7 is equal to I into KF value is 14 into molality, that is mass of solute 75.2 by molar mass of phenol. So phenol formula is C6H5OH. So 12672 plus 6 plus 16. So the molar mass of phenol is 94 into 1000 by mass of the solvent is 1 kg, that is 1000 grams. So these two gets cancelled. So the value of I will be 7 into 94 by 14 into 75.2. So if you simplify this, you will get the value of I as 0.625. The value of I will be 0.625. So from this, I need to calculate the value of alpha. Right? So how to calculate the value of alpha? So they are telling that phenol will be undergoing dimerization here. So as phenol undergoes dimerization, that is association, the formula is I is equal to 1 plus 1 by n minus 1 into alpha. So that is 1 plus 1 by 2 minus 1 into alpha, that is 1 minus alpha by 2. And the value of I is given as 0.625. 0.625 is equal to 1 minus alpha by 2. So alpha by 2 value will be 1 minus 0.625, that is 0.375. So alpha value will be 0.75. So alpha value is 0.75. So percentage alpha value will be 75%. So from the given information, first I will be calculating the value of I. So I value is 0.625. For association, it is undergoing dimerization, means it is association. For association, the relation between I and alpha is I is equal to 1 plus 1 by n minus 1 into alpha. So substitute the value of I, you will get the value of alpha is 0.75, that is 75%. So with this, we have completed the MCQs based on solutions. In the next class, we will be starting chemical kinetics chapter. Thank you.